Hello, everyone. So, today I want to talk about the war between Israel, Hamas, Hezbollah, Iraq. Now we know that some pagers were exploding in Iraq, Iran, we have Yemen, and we have silent Egypt, who is also part of it. We have 124 countries who voted in the UN against Israel being able to defend itself, and the request to completely take away 600,000 Israeli citizens from their homes and create that kind of a displacement because they feel they shouldn't live in Judea and Samaria. To those who don't know, Jews are from Judea. That's where the name is. So to take away the one region in Israel that actually is directly connected to the Judeans is absurd. I also wanted to say that one of the reasons that Israel is feeling that they have to be more protective over their neighbors is because we know that we have many displaced tribes from Israel that got lost after the first exile. And it just happened. They just disappeared for, I want to say, over 2,000 years. We're looking probably 2,500 years. And a few of them were able to be found. So we found the Menashes in India. We found a few Benjaminites in Ethiopia. And we're continuing to find them in places that we don't necessarily have good relations with those countries. And that is why we look to the Bible, we look to the prophecy, and we ask, where are the rest of them? Do they even remember who they are? Do they know who their God is? Are they lost? Jesus said to a woman that was trying to get him to heal her daughter, I did not come for you. I did not come for any of you. I came for Israel. He came for the lost sheep of Israel. The Judeans were there, but the Israelites were lost. Sometimes we look at Iraq and say, do we have lost Israelites there? We look at Lebanon and think, maybe they are a lost tribe of Israel. We look at Egypt, at Jordan, at even the Saudis, and we try to put a finger to how do we know who they are. And it's not to say that the tribe of Israel and the tribe of Judah were not fighting amongst themselves and they had all this drama, but they are still one nation. And we, in my family and amongst our friends, we were talking about it, and we remembered that there is a cover over the eyes of Israel, that they don't know who their God is. They don't know who their Messiah is. And we thought, what if we're not talking about the Jews? Yes, Jesus came from the Jews, but what if we're not talking about the Jews? What if we're talking about the Muslims? The Muslims copied paste the entire Torah, the entire prophets, and the entirety of the scriptures into their book. And even though there is a lot of stuff and other books that kind of like puff it up, you have to think that this was something that they were able to hold on to. They even have Jesus there, and you have to wonder, who are the Muslims? Are the Muslims lost Israelites? Are we actually in Israel fighting with our own brothers and sisters? And I feel that many of them actually know the answer to it, but they have covers over their eyes. They know, but they just can't see it. They can't make the connection. You have so many of them. Their names are Daniel. Their names are David. Their names are so many Jewish names, and you have to think of it and say, why are they naming their kids after King David or King Solomon? Why are they naming their kids after the Prophet Isaiah, Prophet Daniel, Ezekiel? Why are they naming their kids after all these names? And then it kind of like hit me that Jesus was talking about the false prophet, like the false Messiah, and he would come and he would declare that he is the true one, the true anointed one, and he would say that he spoke to God. And that is, and please, if you're Muslims, do not be angry. I am simply debating an idea here that is based on the Bible that we have and the Bible that you have. And it occurs to me that you got the false Messiah, the Antichrist, the false anointed one. And there are so many clues in all the fluff in there. First of all, Moses is being talked about like so many times, like thousands of times in the Quran. But Muhammad only mentioned 4. So then you have all these extra books, and they're talking about Muhammad learning from the Jews how to clean his behind. So he wanted to use 3 stones, and the Jews taught him to use water. That is a Judaic, custom, how to cleanse yourself, how to purify yourself. There are, a curse on women who want to wear a wig or hair extensions. But the Jewish women, many of them, wear wigs just because they don't want to have the head cover, so they use a wig instead as an option. And somehow they're cursed by Allah. But he said, oh, if you're a man and you color your beard and your hair, then that's okay. And I have to thank like this guy on the internet that has been, incredibly interesting to watch. I will give you his name. I just really honestly don't remember, but he is the one person that it is shocking how he is basically saying, how can you even read this book? How can you even agree with it? It has so many outrageous things. He said, I was a Muslim and now I worship the God of Israel because I've discovered that I've been duped. So the channel is called Acts 17 Polemics, which is very funny, but it also speaks a lot of truth. And you have to wonder, are you a Muslim or are you a lost Israelite? Are you obsessed and angry with Israel because you have this, sometimes, let me start with this. Sometimes there's those girls in school and all the boys want to talk to them, and one boy has the audacity to come in and start pulling on their hair, and and the girl is like, why are you doing this? And the teacher says, come here, sweetheart, this boy likes you, he doesn't know how to tell you this. And that's how I feel the Muslims are with the Judeans, with Israel. I feel like they want to go back to who they were. They just have covers over their eyes and they don't know where all those feelings come from. So instead of being loving, and as soon as the Abraham Accords were coming forward, then so many of them were really happy to get on board and be part of this peaceful Middle East. And it was not even hard to do. I mean, President Trump, he was new to politics and he was able to pull it off very quickly. And the answer is because the Arab world really wants peace with Israel, not war. And somehow there are very evil forces that originate in Islam, in Marxism, and they just keep coming in and really poisoning the lost children. And it doesn't help that things are really rough in those countries. But somehow, no one really wants Israel to go away. I speak to people from Iran, from Lebanon, from Jordan, from Syria, and many of them in secret would tell me, we don't want Israel to go away. Israel is the only one actually fighting in the Middle East. Their own governments are willing to kill them. Foreign governments who play nice, from Europe, the United States government, everybody plays nice, but no one actually solves anything. So there have been a lot of promises made in Afghanistan, but the Afghans are actually, I would say, worse off today. So the question is, do they want to have peace with Israel? Absolutely. The people want to be found. They want to be found. But as long as they have a religion that has all the stories of the ancestors that they love. Why do they love Jacob? Why do they love Moses? Why do they love David? Why do they love Solomon? Why do they love them when they are Ishmaelites? Ishmaelites have nothing to do with Jacob, right? And maybe they're from Esau. Well, Esau has also nothing to do with King David. So you look at it and you ask yourself, are you an Israelite? Are you willing to put your arms down and put your weapons away and actually start talking to your lost brothers and sisters that you haven't seen for 2,500 years? I sure hope so. Thank you for listening. Please like and subscribe.